Hello, welcome back to another episode of Video Ditch. Here with Sam and Nick. No Jake tonight, but today we've got our very first guest of 2025. We're very happy to have him here. He's a voice actor. His name is Zach. Welcome on, friend of Nick's.
What's going on, gamers?
Personal friend of mine. He and I both.
Absolutely. We go way back, like 27 years ago, right?
True.
We're pretty much a twinkle in each other's father's eyes while they were passionately kissing in a love hotel. And, we just kind of became one. We've been a love since ever.
We're like the bridge between the Eiffel Tower.
Absolutely. We met at the Eiffel Tower.
Yeah.
We were experimenting a little bit. We were doing some docking in the bathtub. We were like 7, 8 years old. And now we're here, full-grown adults.
Right, here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are on Video Ditch.
But yeah, thanks for having me here. I'm the only one without video because I look like a Wojak right now. I'm very unkept right now. I have not trimmed in a couple weeks, and I look like a damn Wojak right now.
Perfect.
Visual representation on screen for the viewer.
He's got a Sigma style.
Oh yeah.
Very good.
I do like an American Psycho routine, but for neckbeards, pretty much.
6 a.m. piss on my own feet in the shower.
I used to piss in water bottles when I was younger, actually. When I was in college, I was super depressed because I didn't know the direction of my life. I came straight out of high school into college, and I was like, man, I'm so depressed. My room would always be so messy with like bags of McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell. And I would just lay in bed and I would go, you know what? I'm way too tired to go to the bathroom. So I would get empty water bottles and start pissing in them. And I would have them on my windowsill, just filled with piss. And, when I would jack off, I didn't have like a rag or anything for the cum. So I would come in my hand and wipe it on the side of my mattress. I didn't have sheets or anything. I just wiped it on the side of my mattress and let it just kind of caramelize and crust up a little bit. So, depression's a bitch. Don't kill yourself, chat.
It's true.
Oh my God.
Mental health is very real. Killing yourself is the yourself killer. Don't do it.
It's true.
Absolutely.
That's what they say.
So live long enough to jerk off into like a t-shirt or a towel, not on the side of your bed.
And later you can have this great story that you can tell me and I'll laugh really hard.
Incredible introduction here.
Thank you.
Zach, you want to tell the viewers, listeners, a little bit about who you are and what you do before we get into the episode?
Yeah, I just
got with that cold.
I just started trauma dumping to everybody here.
It's what we're here for.
Yeah, so for about 10 years now, I've been doing voice acting independently and now in the industry. I used to do music on the side under the pseudonym Big Gay. I used to make a bunch of nerdcore and like anime rap for a few years, kind of blew up in that area. Made a bunch of content on TikTok, one of them blowing up being the Stop Posting About Among Us meme, which a lot of people might know out there. And that's where I kind of had my foot in the door with a lot of opportunities, and now I'm voice acting in these big projects, a lot of NDA stuff I can't talk about, a big indie horror game named Indigo Park, and now a recent thing, as of this week, I am the head of the English dub for this indie horror game named MiSide.
Very good.
So
very good. Yeah. Very exciting.
Oh yeah, it's very exciting. I'm stressed out. I want to kill myself every day, but it's great. I love it.
Yeah, we'll be covering the path that led up to all that and more on today's episode.
It's true.
Yeah, just giving them the old Video Ditch treatment. Before we get into the past any further, how we're doing today, really? How are we doing tonight, fellas?
I'm chilling. I washed my balls today for the first time in 7 days. Normally, how like a girl does like an everything shower? I do exactly like the Wojak version of an everything shower. The balls are kind of intact. I don't really have to like scrub into them too much. I have a scruffy, like a good old like loofah. But, even some places it doesn't, really get everywhere.
It's running down. Right. It's trickling down.
Yeah, but it's not really getting into that. I mean, that's the whole reason I got a bidet, so I can really clean my asshole before getting into a shower after I take a massive shit. Because I have IBS. I have clinical diagnosed IBS.
Our third host really should have been here.
Yeah, you guys could have really bonded over that.
I'm a bidet fiend. I advocate for clean assholes around here,
Yes,
especially for the ass eaters out there. You can't be going down. And I know some people are like, kind of freaky with it. They're like, I want it to crust a little bit. I want it to be air fried a little bit.
They saw Austin Powers drinking feces in Goldmember, and they thought that looks good. I want to.
That's a sexual shit awakening for a bunch of people. Is that scene alone?
Mike Myers.
But yeah, I'm just chilling. I went through the rest of the auditions today that I had for MiSide, and I sent out 16 callbacks today. One of them dropped out. We'll get into that later of why that person dropped out. I think it's kind of a silly reason. I'm not going to out who they are, but it was a pretty silly reason. But we'll get into that stuff later. But I'm doing good. How about you boys?
Very nice. I went down to the national park. I went over some trees and rocks. I fell in a river. The kind of stuff you have to do before you talk about games for a long time, to trick yourself into thinking that you're like, you're like healthy and you're doing good stuff and you're healthy and doing good stuff.
That's right.
I think I have dementia also.
The all important balance we talk about achieving all the time. Yeah.
Right.
Right on. And I'm doing well as well. It's I've had the privilege of not having to work over this weekend. So
that's great.
Hearing
that's
what
awesome.
You're going through, Zach. I'm like, I feel for you. That sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. The amount of people who audition who don't follow the rules and record on their fucking iPhone 3GS.
Oh, 3
is insanity to me.
Would you give them more points if they record on, say, like 3DS or something, just like for the novelty of it, or is that just like piss you off?
I probably hear that one of them sent in a fucking AI voice Patrick.
Really? As a joke?
I'm reading the Google Doc, so I don't know if it was one of you guys, but it was just so funny because one of the points here is talk about how much you love Nosferatu. That's what they were talking about in the recording. They're like, I was going into there expecting to love Nosferatu, and I don't know, I just didn't really like it. And it's just a Patrick Star AI voiceover that somebody recorded.
Yeah, that's a good coincidence. I put that in there because I saw how much you were saying how much you love Nosferatu online. I thought you might want to get into that.
I love Nosferatu. Me and my good buddy Jap, we love Nosferatu so much. Movie of the decade, really. Fuck movie of the year, movie of the decade.
Is this a facetious statement? It's difficult to tell sometimes, I must say.
No, I really fucking hate that movie. I hope it burns alive. I hate that movie so much. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Tell me about it. Why do you dislike it?
So there's a lot of points of the movie that I like. I think Robert Eggers is a very good director. I really like The Lighthouse. I really like The Witch. And I think this movie, well, that's how it's spelled. It's 2 V's. I know it's The Witch, but people say it as The Witch.
I say The Witch.
I say The Witch as well. So when I went to go see this movie, I was very excited. The cinematography is beautiful. The editing is fantastic. Some of the actors are okay. The overall just aesthetic and like theme, like you feel like you're in that world. You feel like you're really in that world. It does a really good job
on a lot of these points,
for world building. Where I think the movie cuts off is pretty much the peak of when, I forgot the character's name because I don't give a shit anymore, is when the characters first in Count Orlok's castle for the very first time, having the sit-down meeting, just talking about him buying the property and stuff, and then afterwards, it just teeters off completely. That's where I think the movie is just kind of a lull at that point. Willem Dafoe is the only redeeming quality about it. I hate the main actress. I think she's terrible at acting. Lily fuck her. Every time she tried to pull... Every time she tried to act like she was having a seizure, everybody in the theater was laughing. It was a comedy, really, at the end of the day. I think the story really sped up around the third act. It just kind of happened. Everything just kind of ended.
It is interesting, the conclusion.
I think I feel like there was maybe at least 20 minutes of this movie that could have been added. Because I didn't feel like it was long. It was like a 2 hour, 15-minute movie, but it didn't feel like it. Like I said, I think the world building is really nice and kind of the world setup, but there was just, I don't know. And I think a lot of people were miffed about the insinuation of child rape in the very beginning of the movie. Because she's younger when Orlok's like, yeah, let me get that nice slit. And everybody's like, ooh, I don't think I like that. So I think the movie is okay in those certain areas that I've talked about. I think overall as a movie, it's very lackluster from other Eggers movies.
Interesting.
Bit of a ripoff of Dracula, also. I gotta say, a little unoriginal.
I'm a huge fan of Dracula. I recently read the book, and I watched Nosferatu, the silent film, before seeing this one.
Well, Nosferatu is based off Bram Stoker's Dracula. It was a rights issue. So the very first release iteration of Nosferatu, I think it was the widow wife of the original novel, and she had a complaint about Nosferatu. So she, I guess, either sued the company or the people who made Nosferatu to get the original prints taken away. So for a very long time, the rights and kind of eligibility for a Nosferatu property to come out has been stunted for pretty much 100 years up until this point.
Makes sense.
I think it's interesting that it came back. I just think it probably could have been done better, and maybe not by Eggers. But
fair enough, yeah.
Yeah, maybe Michael Bay could have done something interesting,
I think so too. Maybe throw in Optimus Prime a little bit, Cybertron that you can see like falling in the sky. Yeah. So I'm assuming, Nick, did you like Nosferatu?
At first, I was like, this is boring as shit. And then I heard the crowd, there's like 7 people behind us. They're like, I don't know what's going on at all. They kept saying it every 5 minutes. And it's like my pretentiousness started like ramping up and spiraling. I was like convincing myself, like, actually, this movie's genius. And these fucking morons behind me don't get it. So I like, by the end, I completely convinced myself, like, this is a great movie. And I'm going to fucking kill these people behind me. They're pissing me off. You know, like the Contrarianism really did a lot for making me like that movie. I also liked it when the big hand went over the cityscape.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, that was a cool little feature.
Shots.
I like how most of it was practically done and was shot on film. I always love when real rats. I love when a film does like real stuff like that, especially on film, so it looks just more authentic. But yeah, I don't like Nosferatu, Sam. I'm assuming you like Nosferatu as well.
I did like it. Yeah.
Okay.
Big fan. Yeah.
I'm just the biggest hater then. I'm sorry.
Good.
I was gonna say it was
never apologize for hating anything. Totally. Like
I'm sorry.
That's
yes, sir.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Totally. It was a double feature because we saw Nosferatu, then we saw Sonic 3. So it was like I was telling Sam.
What a double whammy.
I know.
That's
such a roller coaster to put yourself on.
I'd rather see Sonic 3 for the 3rd time than ever see Nosferatu again. That's for damn sure.
Yeah, you know, you gotta have your vegetables before you eat your candy, and the candy was so sweet.
Sonic 3 is true cinema.
It's true, just pure fan service, dreamlike in quality.
Yes. Rest in peace, David Lynch.
Rest in peace, David Lynch.
Yes,
Shout out to David Lynch. Letterboxd was in shambles that day.
We got to put some top 5s together. Come on, someone got to give me some top 5s right now.
Top 5 Lynch. I mean, Eraserhead's definitely number 1 for me. I think it's the most coherent of Lynch's projects that you can really understand. Mulholland Drive is a good one as well. Blue Velvet.
Okay.
I mean, I feel bad. I've not seen Twin Peaks yet. That's the one I really want to sit down and focus on watching one of these days.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite good.
I'm okay with David Lynch. I think it is really like for the Thinking Man's movies, because there's a lot of, it's very heavy on themes, obviously, and otherworldly presence that reflect those themes. So I feel like a lot of those movies will go over people's heads because they can't try to ground whatever world Lynch is trying to build for you. Because that's something that I love in films is world building. And Lynch has a very certain style with world building.
I agree.
And if you're not going in there with an open mind and trying to understand that world and the rules and nature of that world, you're not going to like them. You're never going to understand them. So, you know, shout out to David Lynch. Rest in peace.
David Lynch, rest in peace.
It really does suck. That does suck. He inspired a lot of things like Deadly Premonition being one of the biggest things that have took inspiration from that. It's literally playing a video game version of Twin Peaks.
It's amazing.
Essentially.
Certainly.
It's been one of the greatest games of all time.
Very good.
It's unironically good. I haven't tried the sequel. I've heard many bad things about the sequel.
I hate it.
I think it's
in a strange way.
I think it suffers the same problem of No More Heroes 3, where it's like a little bit too late for something like that to come out. I think it's a little bit too late for a sequel or a trilogy, one of those to come out.
I feel like the big issue with Deadly Premonition 2 is like a lot of retreading the same ground, but also not capturing what made that first game interesting or unique.
It also didn't help that when the game came out, it was on the Switch, running at like 17 FPS. So
garbage gameplay.
It was
terrible.
Pretty shocking.
That's like the big thing with me with video games. Anything that is even 30 FPS, my eyes hurt. I can't do it, especially with bad frame pacing. I can't do it. It drives me crazy. I hate it.
It sucks, but yeah, the first one's quite good.
Yeah,
well, very good.
For sure.
Very good. Well, we can transition away from film and the work of David Lynch.
Yeah, let's get away from the cerebral crap into the real art.
Yeah, fuck David Lynch, actually, is what Sam's trying to say. Fuck that old bag of shit. Oh, you can't watch films on phone. Fuck you. You can't watch films on phone. Fuck you. That's what he said. Yeah, he did say that.
He did say that. And he was right.
He's like, what are you going to do? Watch a film on a fucking iPhone? Fuck you.
He did
Whatever,
say
David,
that.
you're fucking dead anyway. You won't be able to see another movie ever again. Asshole. I'm sorry. That was rude of me. I don't hold negativity in my heart, you know. Only positive.
Just let it out.
When you watch Twin Peaks, it'll make a lot more sense. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll make sure to watch. I definitely will though, for sure. I heard when the show came back, people didn't really like it as much as when it first came out. I don't know how true that is.
It's because the new series is like a David Lynch project instead of David Lynch directing an ABC mystery series. If that makes sense.
I gotcha. Okay.
Does make sense.
Yeah, so the original was a release for pretty much a broad audience, and then when it came back, it was more like, okay, this is Lynch now. This is mine. Like I'm
Exactly.
gonna make it
Narrow
yeah.
the focus. Yeah.
100%
gotcha.
made for himself. The fans can eat shit if they like it. If they don't like it, whatever. He made it. He made it for himself
Oh,
to
shit.
the conclusion he wanted, and I think that's the ideal way to do it. I think he was doing everything absolutely a-okay, perfectly correct.
Yeah, and I'm all for creative freedom, no matter what. Writing, directing, acting, whatever. You know, so good for Lynch for getting it back out there and making it his own. So yeah.
Very good. All right. Shall we move on?
Oh yeah, I guess gaming, whatever. Yeah, why do you like video games? What happened there?
we can spend as much
what twists and turns happened in your life? What
Or
mistakes
as little
led
time
you
as
down
we
the
can.
dark path of the gamer?
I like the way I twist and turn my cock when I'm jerking off to hot, beautiful women in video games. You know what I'm saying?
There we go. I see.
Well, it's time with Tifa way back when. There's three
Tifa,
The
triangles. stacked.
polygonals. Yeah.
Those polygonals just like pointing into my eye sockets for sure. I'm very excited for Rebirth to come out on PC, so I can get lots of big titty mods for Tifa. Because my lord, that was my ultimate waifu at the time. You remember the Flash animation forever ago where it was Tifa jerking off Cloud? Like this was like early 2000s, and like
No.
they have like a helicopter. No, I don't know what you're talking about. So they have like a plane crash or whatever, like a helicopter crash, and then Cloud wakes up. POV, you're Cloud getting jerked off by Tifa Loveheart. And she's just stroking your shit, big time, no rush. And man, I jerked off to that video so many goddamn times. It is unreal. I was like, man, video games are sick. I
Oh
love video
God.
games so much.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I love Newgrounds for unrelated reasons.
Yeah, shout out to Zone. Doesn't make content anymore. He just streams VR chat now. So I miss Zone. If you're listening to this, please draw more Skullgirls porn. Please, I need it. Please. I'll get in touch with him with my contacts that I have. I'll see what I can do. I got you, Chad.
yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
Newgrounds, we're gonna make it great again.
Yeah,
I'm
would you
gonna be the Trump of internet porn content.
There you go. Would you say those early animations on Newgrounds steered you into any way towards voice acting? Said, I want to do that.
That's true. I mean, someone has to provide that voice.
Listening
Someone
to
has to
Cloud
say,
getting jerked out. Yeah.
fuck! Oh god, shit! I'm coming.
Like I could do that.
No, yeah, definitely.
I say that I could do that.
Yeah, it was a lot of internet culture in general. I mean, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 30, and I grew up with the internet. Like I was literally born and raised from the internet. Like we didn't have anything else. Like I didn't want to go out and play with people or kids or really spend time outside of my home. All I needed was Newgrounds and meet and fuck, essentially, to get what I needed in life. Plus, all the funny parodies people would make on Newgrounds and on YouTube. Machinima content was coming out right around the corner, like Red versus Blue.
Yeah, truly. The genesis of that sort of thing.
Yeah, there was a whole bunch of it was a boom. It was a big boom in that kind of online content, and it was a ground zone for a lot of people to break out, not only in their animation style, their audio editing, their audio creation, like music, sound design, and of course, voice acting. There's a lot of prominent people out there from Newgrounds,
that are working today.
today.
Yeah,
Rita Chan.
totally.
Yeah, Rena Chan, Runkachunk, my favorite. Kira Buckland, shout out to Kira Buckland. Yeah, she ended up, getting a big role as 2B in Nier Automata. She's in JoJo. Same with Rice Pirate Mick Lar. He's in JoJo as well. He's done a bunch of video games. And now we see, Zachary Hadel, Psychic Pebbles, who has Smiling Friends.
Yes. I think it's a beautiful thing to see. To witness.
It's really awesome, especially after him and Chris worked on Hellbenders and that fell apart, over 10 years ago now. Or 12 years ago now. Hellbenders came out 12 years ago.
Baby. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really wild to think all these people who made these shitty little, not even shitty, these
Not
amazing
even shitty.
little cartoons that made me laugh so hard when I was like,
You gotta think they're shitty now, but back then they were revolutionary. Like when you look at Smash Taunts by Kerbifor, like that guy, he's hold on, wait a minute.
all-time guilty pleasure was the Brawl Taunts videos.
Brawl Taunts is really good.
Yeah.
Kerbifor himself, a little bit, wackadoo. I don't know what he's doing nowadays.
He's
he got in trouble. He got in trouble for breaking NDA about announcing that he was a Fire Emblem character for Smash Brothers.
That's right.
And Nintendo laid the hammer on him. But yeah, a lot of those people that I would consume, because I would not only love their voice acting work, I would love the content that they would make. And I was like, God, I really want to be an animator. So I tried my hand in animation. Didn't work out for me. I brought into the avenue of doing voice acting. And so I did like a bunch of little stuff like Skyrim mods or whatever for Skyrim, which I don't even know if that's still like, or the Morrowind mod, whatever. It's like a Skyrim like Morrowind thing that they were working on. So I did stuff like that. I used to voice troll on 4chan all the time on V. I had a bunch of stuff that was getting popular when Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain was releasing. I would record a bunch of like Snake and like Otacon like having gay sex with each other, and Kaz and Big Boss like making out and fucking, and those got like animated into like source filmmaker videos and like all this other shit.
Wow, the power of the internet.
Yeah, I would do a bunch of voice trolling, and my favorite ones to do, even as up to a couple years ago when the Mario movie was coming out. So there's these threads on the TV board, the film and television board, for people that don't know. And people like to do these threads where you kind of do one post at a time, one line at a time. And it would be like you make your own trailer. So the thread would start with like this summer or like coming soon or, you know, this winter. So each post would be one at a time. And so what I would do, I would go in there and like record it and edit it as one big trailer. And so I had one when the Mario movie was being announced and the trailer didn't come out yet. There was a whole thread that I read through and it fucking blew. It was probably the most views I've ever seen in my life. Like I was stroking my big fat cock ego over it. Like it was like 400 or 500 replies. Like this is 4chan. Like getting even a few like replies and views on 4chan in general is like, oh, cool. You know, people want to, you know, fight me and debate me. But this is the most I think I've ever seen anybody reply to me. So yeah, it's just dumb stuff like that that I still do. I'll still be on 4chan, you know, perusing around and see what people are up to, getting the most high quality opinions about video games and movies that I should take with full-heartedly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Why form your own opinion, right? Just go on 4chan and take what they got.
Yeah, if you want to be internet famous, you just go on 4chan. That's all you have to do. But yeah, and then I just kept doing it for years and years and years, and I'm here where I am now, and I'm loving it.
That's crazy. Yeah, this seems to be the way it goes from the independent circuit as a voice actor or even as a developer is coming up either through Newgrounds or 4chan or some sort of one of those places that people, you know, the normie net, I suppose you could call it, looks at it as the dark seedy underbelly of the internet. You know, there's no usernames, there's no upvote downvote system. It's scary to them, but to us, you know, it's home. And it was very creatively free and it was very fun more than anything, you know. People can say and do whatever. It was excellent. And
it's the chicken crock pot that your mom makes for you when you come home, just waiting.
Yeah, it's the fucking shit from Ratatouille that he scoops up and eats and thinks about his bike or whatever. And you know, I'm glad to see that you're another veteran. You know, you're another warrior from that time. You just made it through, and you're reaching your own Valhalla like these other giants.
I'm a word that, you know, people would call people like us, but I don't think I could say it on the podcast. But I'm that. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah. Since I believe 2008 up until now, I still actively use 4chan. And it's, you know, when people hear 4chan, like you said, people get like scared or whatever of the insinuation of that. But I really truly just go on there to laugh at some of the threads and the opinions that people have, whether it comes to music or video games or, you know, movies and TVs. I don't use it maliciously ever. Like, no, I really just use it as just another platform. To get myself entertainment from.
I'd say if the pod has taught me anything, you know, talking to people from multiple walks of life or walks of internet life, like people from 4chan aren't even that unpleasant.
They walk on two legs, just like the rest of us.
There's a stigma to it, you know.
Yeah, every single time, like there's a board meetup. I mean, you know, we got some Fangledor looking people, but you know, they're nice, functioning people. Regardless.
Orlocks.
Yeah. Little Orlocks.
Right, they got their hairy little palms, their big fingers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And I think it still holds true even to, I mean, we have TikTok now for the majority of trends and memes and stuff. But for, I would say 20 years, 4chan has been the pioneer of inventing trends and memes.
That is correct.
I still wholeheartedly believe in that. Any old internet meme that you see or stuff regurgitating like the Wojak memes that people still do now comes from 4chan. It originated from 4chan.
Early meme culture, certainly. Yeah, there's a lot to 4chan, a lot of those early image board websites.
Yeah, so I think we wouldn't have the internet as we do today, unironically, if it weren't for 4chan, for sure. It is still one of the only functioning image boards out there that reflect old school internet into the modern time and has survived the modern time. Even when it got bought out and Moot doesn't run it anymore, it's still chugging away. People thought when it got bought out, it was going to go away, but
Like
it didn't.
would
It
lose
only
its spirit. Yeah.
it only kept its relevancy, even now. The real enemy, I think people would agree on, is probably Kiwi Farms. I'd say probably Kiwi Farms is more. I mean, that's another one I kind of go on sometimes to laugh at some people. If I want to laugh at Boogie 2988 today, like I'll go on Kiwi Farms.
Who's he pointing a gun at now?
Yeah. Man, that whole thing with Frank Castle's so funny.
Very funny.
I love that. I love Frank Castle so much. Shout out to Frank. I debated, but I realized it would be career suicide. I debated for the past 2 seasons to go on Fish Tank. I really heavily considered it.
Well, you actually have talent, so I think that'd be a very bad move for you.
Well, the fucking Mr. Beast guy is on there. Skitsy VA. He was on.
Yeah, I saw it. He
Yeah,
freaked out, man. He went nuts. That was
which
embarrassing.
Which I know people who know him because I collaborated with somebody who also has collaborated with him as well. So it's just like we're kind of all in the same circle. And I'm thinking, if he can get on Fish Tank, God, I can get on Fish Tank. And I wanted to, but it's like 2 months like being away from home. I got to deal with piss and shit from Frank Castle. I got to deal with Sam Hyde shenanigans. It's like I'd love to meet Sam Hyde for sure, but I don't think I can deal with the mental torture of Fish Tank.
Right. Work on MiSide or live in a septic tank. The choices, you got to weigh them.
They're pretty much essentially the same thing. But yeah.
Really? Yeah. I'm really excited to hear about that. I thought it was all going to be smooth sailing. Like, oh, it's so great. So I love it.
Yeah, well, it is, but there were some complications to get where it is right now.
Okay.
But we'll get into that. But that's kind of some of the short history of some of the voice acting stuff. I mean, to really hone it in, it was because of my presence online, who I am. I had an internet meme blow up, and from then, a lot of people started having more eyes on me. I started getting into a lot more, into auditioning, more than I've ever had, because for a lot of people that don't know, I have 2 children. So like a good chunk of the past 10 years have been to, raise and take care of my children. And I've had to put my VA work and other dreams on the back burner. And that always sucks because I feel like, I'm 30 now. I feel like I wasted time, or I wasted opportunities, or, this and that. But regardless, I'm in the spot that I'm in now because of certain circumstances that have allowed me to just be more free reign with my content online and what I can do. So I'm very fortunate to be where I am now, and it's been fantastic. It's literally, my dream is now slowly starting to come true. Even just this past year alone, so much has happened. And I'm very, very, very fortunate for it.
Up and up. Wonderful.
Yeah, we love to hear that. Very cool. All right, Nick, any questions for Zach right now?
Yeah. How much do you hate AAA gaming or love it? Are you allowed to shit on AAA, or is that also NDA relevant?
This is tricky.
I mean,
it depends what studio we're talking about. What I can answer.
That's very fair.
Okay.
Very fair. Okay.
I feel like it's like a guessing game, narrowing down his secret project.
AAA stuff. I mean, people can narrow it down as soon as you take one look at my Twitter bio, but it's okay. I think AAA is okay. I think more so now the trend obviously is indie, and indie's been on the trending wagon for like 6 years. And I think like A or AA games, like Helldivers 2, is kind of more so the direction I think the industry wants to take. They took one look at Helldivers 2 and like, oh, this is like a video game. Or they look at Stellar Blade and they go, damn, sexy women in action fighting games is so back. We're so back, bros. So I think there's always going to be those Ludo narrative games, like whatever Naughty Dog's cooking up, or whatever, Death Stranding 2 is going to be, even though I'm a huge Hideo Kojima fan. I think we're kind of past Death Stranding after this. I think anything after this would kind of be boring.
From him specifically?
From him specifically,
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, from him specifically, because I think Kojima's working on a new tactical espionage game as well. So whatever he's cooking up with that is probably going to be amazing. His first espionage since Metal Gear. And then whatever that horror game that Hunter Schafer's involved in as well.
Right.
That's probably going to be dope.
Exclusive, yeah.
Yeah, the Microsoft exclusive, because they never got to work on Silent Hills. And I know still to this day, over 10 years later, PT, that playable teaser, is still one of the most talked about games that never came into fruition. And also periodically play that game because that game absolutely nails atmosphere to the fucking max. And Silent Hills had a perfect storm. You had Hideo Kojima, you had Guillermo del Toro, Junji Ito for the monster designs. Like, it was a perfect storm to be probably the best horror game ever made, ever. And he got fucked by Konami. So AAA stuff, I mean, it's okay. I'm one of the only people who really, and we can shit on it all we want for like story heavy driven hand holding games, but I really do like The Last of Us 2. Despite its many faults, I really did like The Last of Us 2.
Get this guy off the program.
Like, technology wise, like, for that game to look and run the way it does on base PS4 is a marvel. A marvel. Like, Naughty Dog, for all of their shortcomings, you can't deny that they're really good with the technology that they have in-house.
Certain. Yeah.
For sure.
Thoroughly enjoyed that one. Yeah.
For sure. I really like the new God of War series, despite the complete direction that they took from the older games. I like the older games, but I don't think you can make a modern version of that for the modern audience. I think the direction that they took it, I think, was fine. I really loved Ragnarok.
I was just playing Ragnarok today.
Ragnarok is so fucking awesome. I love Ragnarok.
I played through the Valhalla expansion.
Yeah, I still need to play through Valhalla.
Very cool.
Yeah, because I hear there's more story stuff in Valhalla that is very key for whatever they're coming up with
the
next.
Implications for what's coming next.
Yeah.
Totally.
So bartending or what?
Yeah, Kratos.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the end of it, he's like, I'm done with this shit.
He makes his own beer in his garage.
He's turning into a
one of
crazy
those.
game, actually.
Yeah, he's one of those. He's like, are you guys in a mood for an IPA?
IPA.
And we just go, no, Kratos, that's okay. Go back to killing gods. But I think we're soon going to have a middle ground between those super handholdy games and the stuff of kind of like old era video gaming. Like, I can Stellar Blade and even Astrobot winning Game of the Year. That also was like solidifying in, we need to bring this shit back to PS2 days, where we had really creative free roam with the developers, with publishers, to really just bring an idea and just let them do it. Just let them do it. And if it fails, it fails. If it succeeds, it succeeds. Because I love Astrobot. Like, I stood and clapped. Like, I soy-faced.
He did.
When Astrobot got Game of the Year. Yeah, I stood up. I cheered. Because it absolutely deserved it. It was really honing on those early PS2 platformers. And I want more games like that. I want more games like that, and Stellar Blade, and Helldivers 2, and all these other indie projects, like MiSide. If MiSide was on console, I would fucking jork my dunk right now, big time. But yeah, I think we're in a new, or hopefully new, renaissance of these types of games again, because I think people have been craving it.
Fun games. I agree.
Just good, fun games. Yeah, just be creative. Even if it's not a good game, be creative with it. Just be creative. I don't know how many times I can play another Souls-like game and just be checked out. Or like a roguelite or any other just slow-moving game where I have to watch cutscenes for like 7 hours before I play the fucking game. Like, just put me in the game. I just want to play the game.
Enough of the roguelike deck builders. No more.
God, I know. See, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna clarify here. I hate Balatro. I hate Balatro. Hate it.
Why do you hate Balatro?
I'm done with it. It's boring. I fall asleep. That game has a lifespan.
I'm getting an idea of what your values are when it comes to games.
I see why we're friends.
Well, hey, here's the thing. I love card games. Okay, I just got done playing Inscription for the very first time last month. I loved Inscription. I love Slay the Spire.
Very cool.
Okay, I love playing TCG games, but Balatro can neck itself. That game has a lifespan of maybe 4 hours before I get bored, and I don't know how in the fuck it was eligible for Game of the Year. Next to something like Astrobot? That's crazy.
Bold takes.
It broke new ground with
Yeah, speaking of new ground, I could see that game on Newgrounds back in 2004.
That would have been great. I spent a lot of time on that. Probably not as much as Toss the Turtle, but I've definitely given it a shot.
Toss the Turtle's good too. Wow. God damn, you're bringing it back.
That's what Nick does.
It's true. Take you back to the past.
Play the shitty games that were actually good ass.
That were actually pretty.
That were actually okay.
Actually,
They're
you might
pretty
be
good.
surprised by these.
But yeah, I'm fine with AAA for now. I am a little bit excited for Naughty Dog's next project. I know people shit on Neil Druckmann, and I think to some degree, obviously, it's warranted. Just how he handles criticism and kind of is in his own head of what he thinks is the right thing to do. But at the same time, he's the director of the game for a reason. And I would be a hypocrite to say, well, give these creators free roam, but not Neil Druckmann, you know? So I will be anticipating it, but very, very lightly anticipating it.
Very tentative.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, your response kind of gives you the general idea of, well, yeah, of what you kind of gravitate.
Yeah, you're trying to read me? All right, you tell me.
I'm
What the fuck do I like, Sam? You tell me. Since you know everything about me now from a 5-minute conversation, you tell me. What do you know about me, Sam?
This guy likes The Last of Us 2, from what I can gather.
All
And he
right.
likes the PlayStation 2 and Newgrounds.
He's a voice
Played a lot of
actor.
meat
So
and fuck back in the day. I remember
Absolutely.
that. Yeah. But no, I think
Yeah.
just, you know, from, you said you're 30. Nick and I are close in age to you. And I think just the era of video games that we grew up in, I think we're really fortunate to have experienced very large jumps, like big jumps in a short time frame.
Yeah.
And then now, in like the last 10 years, I think there's been a lot of stagnation compared to like the pace of advancement that I think some gamers of a certain vintage are used to or would expect from the medium.
Because we have all the tools presented to us. We have, you know, faster technology than ever before 20 years ago. But for some reason, there's stunted growth in the development of these games. Like these game cycles now take 6 to 7 years to develop.
Yeah,
like on average. And it's blasphemy to me because these teams, these AAA teams are like 500-600 members. And, you know, you really have to sit back and think
so much money. At
you have to think back and think like, what are they doing that's taking so long? Again, PS2 days, you would have a full-fledged 30-hour game within a year of development time.
Yeah,
a year.
And it was great.
And it was awesome.
Complete. The user experience, of course.
Yeah.
So much better than
And just the lack of creativity and ideas, it you know, is a bummer. But I feel like now, of course, with indie stuff, especially with the resources at hand, either, you know, unironically Reddit, some of the stuff on Twitter, some of the tools that are presented and the information that are out there, you can watch a playlist on YouTube and learn how to use blueprints in Unreal Engine 5 within 1 week.
I love that. Yeah, there's a level of accessibility.
Like the tools are there. People are just not doing it or don't have the means to. At least the AAA doesn't. But yeah, there's always going to be the indie. Always going to be the indie. I'm excited to see what's going to come out or what's going to be the next trend of games. So yeah.
Very nice. Very nice. All right. Well, do you want to talk any more about your history with gaming, or do you want to talk about some of your current projects or your other voice acting work? What do we think?
We can do voice acting work. So I was involved with this game that blew up last year. It's a mascot horror game called Indigo Park. It's going to be a multi-chapter game because well, speaking of trends, that's another trend is, you know, these indie games coming out, instead of having early access, we're now releasing these games in chapters.
Right.
Small kind of.
And Indigo Park is now under that umbrella. So the creator Unique Geese Mason, what I was talking about earlier with the resources about looking up a playlist, learning Unreal Engine, this was Mason's very first game. He only had previous experience remaking I believe it was the first chapter or the first part of Garten Banban. And he did it in 1 week. 1 week with no game experience, nothing. Just that. YouTube tutorials, just blueprints, and everybody favored that remake over the original. So it was him coming back and wanting to do a bigger thing. So this was Indigo Park. It's a mascot horror game, a la a Disney World horror game aesthetic. It's taking how a desolate park at Disneyland would work in a horror setting. I played this character named Finley. I have a very short part in that chapter, but in chapter 2, and it's fine for me to say this, I'm not under an NDA with this. Everybody knows this. Chapter 2 is all. Chapter 2 is all going to be about my character. So I'm recording for that next month, and you know this game blew up instantaneously within the first week. Jacksepticeye has played it. It has a whole dedicated game theory video. We have big streamers like Queso playing it. Literally big streamers. Sorry, Queso. And
you see, Sam, he's a beast.
Yeah, a
Oh.
large fella.
Okay.
Yeah, and all these other big content creators and big streamers loving and playing the shit out of this game. So when the game came out, there was a Kickstarter for Chapter 2, and the goal was for $300,000. Within the first week, not even, it reached over $350,000 in its first
Very
week.
impressive. Very cool.
So
how much of a cut are you getting out of that?
Well, that's for me to discuss with the developers sometime.
So I actually just got a box of posters here yesterday for the Kickstarter. So one of the perks for the Kickstarter is getting a personalized autograph poster for one of the characters that you want to get. I have 3 boxes, a huge stack of like life-size posters for me to autograph and send back.
Nice.
So
that wrist brace on, get ready to sign.
Yeah, for real. Throw on some JAV porn videos
Some
and then just start
Bengay.
signing away. Yeah.
I can only imagine the feeling, though. So many people hearing your voice and being like, "That's the guy. I want his signature. I love what he did."
Yeah, it's definitely a cool feeling to sit down and having to do signatures. I'm like, I'm sitting back. I'm like, really? I'm at this stage already in my career where I'm signing stuff. I had somebody at PAX last year in September come up to me and I did my very first autograph. They gave me a golden Freddy pop figure.
Nice.
And I signed it. And they had me do like a little video with them and try to do like a stop posting about Among Us thing. And this was in front of the Among Us booth. So everybody turned around when I was screaming. And the Among Us people know who I am. I've talked to some of them, and one of the head community managers, she wanted to meet me, but we never got our schedules right. But it's cool that I'm at the point already where I'm sitting there having to sign stuff for this big project. And because now it's blown up and everybody's anticipating Chapter 2, when this comes out, like they're going to see my character in this big audience spotlight online and in the content creation space. So it's like lightning in a bottle, essentially. And I just keep capturing it.
It must feel very good.
It is really something spectacular. And it seems like that's kind of how it's going with MiSide as well. Like this is a very big popping off indie horror game.
Oh, yeah. So MiSide came out just a month ago, was at the coattail end of 2024, started blowing up all the way into now, 2025. And I'm handling the English dub for MiSide. To put it into perspective how successful this game is, in its first week, it made $9 million. And this was made by 2 Russian guys.
So how exactly did you become the man in charge for the English voice acting?
Involved with these projects?
Yeah. So I have kind of a way of stumbling into certain things. I think more than anything, it's people talk about in acting or voice acting, it's all about who you know. It's all about your connection. So it's all about this and that. I just so happen to have some kind of, and I'm going to stroke my ego here for a second. I just have some kind of way of just kind of being myself. And I just naturally meet these people and setting this precedent within myself to create opportunities for myself. Like I'm not relying on other, like people will give me like opportunities and stuff, but I make my own opportunities. And that's what happened with MiSide. I played MiSide, was a huge fan of it. I saw there was fan-made dubs for Portuguese, Spanish, and French. And I said, I want to do that. Why is there no English dub? This is a anime aesthetic yandere game that is popular in the masses. How the fuck is there not an English dub? So I make a tweet. I go, I don't know if anybody's interested, but I would love to work on the English dub of MiSide. Starts getting a little attention. And so I quote tweet it going, okay, there's enough attention here. I'm hosting on casting calls for the character of Mita, who was the main girl of the game. Blows up. I think that tweet alone has probably 800,000 views with a couple thousand likes, and the same likes that it has, same amount of bookmarks. And I have all of these actors replying. I have a bunch of people coming in that work for Funimation, that work for Crunchyroll, that are huge content creators in the space, that are VTuber girls.
Oh man, must have been really satisfying rejecting them.
Absolutely. Fuck VTubers, dude. I hate them. I'm kidding. But it starts getting exponential growth. And so I go into the publisher's Discord and I go, okay, I'm Zach. Here's my spiel. We're working on this. Boom. I send the tweet to get their attention. And one of them goes, okay, I believe there's an English dub being worked on already. I go, are you kidding? Fuck. And they say, direct your concerns to this guy. So I go to that guy and give him the same spiel, copy and pasted. And he just goes, No. And I'm like, okay,
Okay.
well, that's it. I'll still do it as a fan dub, still do it, whatever. Then magic happens. I love women. I want to preface this right now. Okay.
Okay.
I had met a VTuber friend that very day, and I'm in a call with her, and I'm telling her I pretty much got rejected to work on the English dub officially. She goes, I'm going to be a woman. I go, what does that mean? She goes, I'm going to be a woman. Watch this. She messages the @then English dub lead, is trying to slide into DMs, inquiring about wanting to be an additional voice for MiSide, for his project, for his English dub. Now, I want to preface that when I put out my casting call tweet, that English dub director at the time put out a progress video showing the English dub. Everybody in the comments hated it, by the way. Everybody. And it was the same day that I posted the casting call. Before that, there was no information about it until it was like, what day was it? It was December 29th of last year was any first confirmation of an English dub. So I think that guy saw my tweet, got scared, and posted the video because at the very end of the video, it said an English dub is dropping this week.
Oh, very abrupt.
So I was trying to kind of beat it to the punch. So this girl messages her or him and goes, yeah, if you're looking for any other voices, let me know. And the guy comes back saying, well, we filled all of our spots. Let me ask one of the girls if she wants to just drop out, not want to do it anymore. I'm like, that's weird. And she goes, is the casting for this any relation to this tweet? She posts my tweet. He goes, no. And I know the publishers were feeding this guy information because he said something that I only said to the publishers. He goes, I think it's very strange that someone would imply that professionals would do a better job than the crew that I have now. And the crew that he had then was doing it for free. They're just like on a Discord call recording because the sound quality and consistency is fucking awful. I'm sorry. Like, it was just bad. It was a bad,
it's good
bad.
You can dance on the grave a little bit. We'll allow it.
Yeah, I do little Fortnite dances. I do the orange justice on them. So she starts continuing to talk to him and goes, well, why don't you guys team up to like work together and stuff? Like, she's really kind of playing into like, oh, come on, just like message him, do this. And he goes, well, I don't know who he is. I don't think he's that famous, but I don't know how to like message people like that. Like, just being weird.
I don't know how to message nobodies.
Yeah. And then 2 minutes later, he's like, oh, professionals probably would be better, because she's really trying to play into, well, I think the project needs professional stuff, this and that. So she gets to the point of being like, okay, add him on Discord or whatever and see if you guys want to team up. And she goes, oh, wait a minute, like feigning ignorance. Wait a minute. I have a friend who has him on Discord. Let me go get you his information and I'll message you. And as soon as she does that, we're laughing in the call. We're hysterically laughing because we're waiting like 5 minutes. Comes back. She goes, hey, my friend got me the information. Here's his name. Hit him up. Takes him about like 15 to 20 minutes for him to send me a friend request. As soon as I accept that friend request, I have the two publishers I first talked to are frantically messaging me. The second one goes, by the way, we're talking about this internally. Everything needs to be directed to me from now on. Wow. And I go, oh God. So I'm talking to the English dub guy at the time, and we're trying to make something work out. He has 5 actors doing it for free. I want one actor who could do it for all, because that's what the Japanese actor did. She did all the voices. Plus, it's coming out of my own pocket for me to pay these people or person.
Self-produced. Yeah.
So we're having this huge Federation trade for 3, almost 4 hours. This is 1 a.m. I'm off 5 hours of sleep within a 40-hour span of time. I'm stressing out over these like auditions and worrying about getting this dub. We get to a point where one of the publishers says, okay, talk to this guy. And he's the lead of the publishing company. So I'm messaging him and he's telling me, what we're thinking about doing is having a side-by-side release of English dubs. I go, what? So you want his dub and my dub?
And your dub? Yeah.
And he goes, correct. I go, okay, well, let me talk to this guy a little bit further. So I'm making my case. Listen, you have a lot of this work done. Awesome. Cool. Here's the thing. Look at all of these professionals who are not only messaging me, replying to the thread, retweeting it, liking it. Like I said, I had one name I can say because she didn't audition, was the actor who played Pan in Dragon Ball. Was showing interest in it. So that's just a small dose of all the other like actors that are wanting to be involved within Funimation, like huge names in the dubbing industry. I even had, well, she didn't make it, so I can say this one. I had the girl who was Yandere Chan in Yandere Simulator audition.
Yeah, that would have been something crazy.
Because I think she wanted that role super bad because of the reputation that Yandere Simulator has.
Right.
So
thanks to the developer.
But yeah, huge names.
Very
Huge
cool.
names. So I'm making my case. I was like, I want the best dub. You want the best dub. This is a very highly anticipated feature of the game. A lot of people don't even want to play the game because they don't want to read the entire time. Nobody wants to read subtitles while they're playing a game the entire time. They want to hear the English voice. I keep making my case to him. Here's the thing. You can upload your dub, but as a mod on like Nexus Mods or something else, and have mine in the
support.
yeah, and have mine in the game. And he goes, yes, I've considered that. I also want the best. I go, okay, are you fond of that idea? And he goes, I guess so. So I will hand the torch off to you.
Guess so.
Wow.
And I have to clarify with him. I go, okay, so what does this mean? Does this mean you are giving me the keys essentially to drive this fucking bandwagon here?
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, yes. As soon as he says yes, I scream at the top of my lungs at 3 a.m. in the morning. Send a screenshot to the two main publishers or the lead publisher, or the leads in the publishing company. Mm-hmm. And they go, okay, I'm glad you came to a conclusion. Add me on Twitter. We're going to talk more from there. I go, okay. I add him on Twitter. We're DMing, and he's Russian. So he has to take a little bit to like translate and stuff and some barriers. But he was telling me, we've been talking about this internally for hours. We're going to give your dub to the devs. Keep us posted. We have concerns. Our concerns is for the Russian dub, which is the native language, has 3 actors. How are you going to address this? How are we going to do that? What's the time frame on this? We don't want to lose all this, because they're taking a big gamble. They have the work essentially done, and they're just dropping it to entrust me. But the biggest thing,
it's pretty massive.
The English dub lead at the time said I was a nobody. But one person on the publishing team goes, by the way, I'm a huge fan of yours. And I was like smiling so fucking hard because I go, he probably showed that tweet and who I was to all the other people on the publishing team and said, look at this, let's give it a try. So they have concerns about, if I really can deliver a professional product. And so pretty much every other day, I've been sending them screenshots of who's involved, what that person has done, all this that are auditioning and showing interest. And they go, all right, looks good. We have full trust in you. Keep us updated. And then that same night, after that night, the next morning, I quote tweeted my casting call going, it's become official. 15,000 likes, even more interest, even more auditions, even more well-known people and not so well-known people all auditioning. We are at 600 auditions. 600 for this game.
Yeah.
And I already sent callbacks today. It went from 16 people or to 16 people. We're down to now 15 people.
Yeah, what happened there?
So one of them, I'm not going to say who they are, but they had concerns that the publishing company endorses AI work. Now, I want to make it very clear. MiSide and anything production-wise does not use AI, not even for promotional purposes. Nothing about MiSide has any AI in it. But because the Discord has a channel for AI art, this person felt inclined to decline after she had made it to the callback, essentially round 2, because of her view on AI, and she's a SAG actor as well.
I see.
So, it kind of sucks. I even messaged her saying, well, I would like you to consider because, I'm going to have whoever gets the role fill out a paper pretty much protecting your rights and your voice against AI stuff. Like it would be a legal signed thing that would be passed on to the publishers and the devs. So you would be solid. Like, is that okay? And she just goes, I appreciate it, but still I'd have to decline. I'm just like, okay, that sucks, but I wish you all the best.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're down to 15 finalists. And we take it from there. And then whoever gets picked, We do a live dub session, play through the game, do the lines, implementation, test it, give it to the team, and off it goes. And it'll be officially endorsed as the third official language because it won't be marked as fan dub like all the other languages are. This will be the third official dub of the game. So not only will I be producing it, directing it, voicing in it, so I have so much on the line here. So much on the line.
High stakes.
High stakes at the very start of the year. And then, like I said, I have Indigo Park Chapter 2 recording next month. I got MagFest coming up this week. So that's a little bit of a, clout riz I can have. Like, hey, I'm going to be I'm running the
I'm the MiSide guy, all right?
Kind of a MiSide. I'm going to go up to a very sexy MiSide cosplayer and go, hey, would you present yourself your open gash to me? Because I run this shit.
Yeah. Hey, I don't know if you know this, doll, but I'm Mr. MiSide, okay?
I'm Mr. MiSide.
That's me.
That's Mr. MiSide to you.
You have a big ass fucking cigar, like, hey, listen, make way, fucking Mr. MiSide.
Hey, listen, doll.
Ooh, that sounds nice. A cigar and a scotch at MagFest to celebrate MiSide. Ooh,
exactly. Why
that
not,
sounds good.
Right?
A big wide pinstripe suit. Yeah.
I think I'll do that. I think I'll get some friends and we'll do drinks and
real big feather in your cap.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a huge deal. Like I don't think I can really
not to understate it. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think I can really hone in how big of a game this is. Like we talked about, indie is coming back. Like this is an indie project made by two people in Unity, and it's blown up because the last time I think a Yandere type game has come out like this, or in some tiny beta capacity of the way that this game handles it, is probably Doki Doki back in 2018.
Yeah,
so that was 6 years ago.
That's what
that was 6 years ago.
To, yeah.
So it's kind of like that game in some aspects. So I think this is kind of like the new Doki Doki Literature Club for the masses.
Right. You can see threads about this for the next 10 years.
Yeah,
no, like unironically,
video essays, certainly.
Because the last one that tried to do something like this in this kind of like realm of like 3D and the way that it's handled is probably Yandere Simulator. And Yandere Simulator sucks. Sorry, like that game's been in development for 10 years. That game's never going to get done. There's too much bad reputation behind it. So you get, what could have been good with Yandere Simulator. You mix it with Doki Doki Literature Club, you get MiSide. It's a perfect storm. Perfect storm. And people are still playing it for the very first time. People are still streaming it for the very first time. Markiplier played this game. All these other people played this game. I'm sure we'll have a fucking game theory about it. So the fact that I'm going to have so many eyes on this game when the English dub drops is going to make me prolapse for real. Like I'm not prepared and I'm nervous. I've very high anxiety over it. So, yeah. Very high anxiety over it because it's probably one of the biggest independent things I've been a part of, like so personally too. Like I'm not just voicing in the game. I'm running this bitch.
Yeah, you're directing.
I'm running this. Yeah.
Else. Yeah.
So it's a lot on the line for me professionally and like for my own self too. Cause it's like, I want to make this good too.
Totally.
Like I really, really want to make this good.
Yeah, this is your proving trial, right? This is your trial by fire. This is everything I've learned from years and doing this for years, and I can really put it to the test now. Really put it to the test. Yeah,
I love it. Very cool. How much of the process are you allowed to talk about? Because I do have some questions, but if it's not like
okay, yeah, go ahead and ask if you have any like specific questions about it.
Which audition was the worst?
There was one that it was towards the end, actually, like the final 30, I would say. And some guy auditioned. One guy at the whole thing. He comes in and sounds like Lumpy Space Princess doing the audition.
Okay.
And it was stupid. There was another one where a girl sounded like she was in the back rooms while there was like hymns being prayed in the background. It was very scary.
Atmospheric audition.
Frightening. Okay. I downloaded it so I can listen to it sometimes and like feel something.
There you go. Yeah.
She sent you an EXE you just now noticed.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God. Some people send fucking project files. They'll send me Ableton project files. I can't open it. I asked specifically for .wave. Yeah. Very clear in bold, underlined, italic. Send waves. Nope. I'm going to send you M4A and like fucking Adobe Audition files. But yeah. Okay. Those were the worst ones.
That kind of answers one of the questions I was going to ask about just the nature of home recording, is if that was going to be the main method for your voice actors for this project, or if you think you'd be able to get a space.
Yeah, it'll be live sessions over like Discord or something, and they'd be recording locally on their end. And then what I would do is have my other buddy who's helping me out. He would show the scene that they're about to record. We play it out for the actor. They're going to see kind of, to get the idea of what's going on and, the tone that they should deliver. Okay, I go, okay, go ahead when you're ready. These lines, go ahead when you're ready. They'll do a couple takes. I mean, like, do this and that. It's pretty much how a normal dub session would work. A normal dub session, you have like a monitor above you. You have time frames. You have a countdown beep that happens. They'd play the scene for you, play it back, and do a countdown, match the flaps with the script, and then just do a couple takes of that and move on. It's essentially the same process as a normal dubbing session.
Okay.
So,
right.
Yeah.
And would this be the first time you're in a directorial capacity?
Yeah, this would be my directorial debut to this degree. Yeah.
Right.
There's been other times where I have like associates or mutuals where I'm like, yeah, can you do it this way? Or like, hey, like, can you read these lines? But this is going to be multi-hour sessions.
Yeah, totally.
Because this character has over 2,000 lines. So it's going to be a long process.
Yeah, I watched some gameplay earlier this week before we got to recording.
Yeah.
So yeah, relatively small cast, it seems. So it's going to be a pretty intimate experience, I feel, with the actors.
Yeah, it's essentially me and the actor. That's it.
Yeah,
that's it. So yeah, that's going to be the process for that. I'm very nervous. I'm crashing out over it every single day. I go to bed at like 3 a.m. now, just thinking like, God, I hope I don't fuck this up.
Well, hey, we're behind you.
Yeah, we got faith in you. We believe in you.
Oh yeah, brother. Oh yeah.
To that token, with dubbing and your experience in dubbing, and I'm assuming being in the industry, you listen to a lot of anime and video game dubbing growing up.
Yeah.
What to you makes for like a good performance in there? Like, what are the trappings you'd want to avoid with this project or any projects you work on in the future?
Unironically, when I tell people who want to break into voice acting, I always say refer to film, never refer to like anime. Never refer to anime.
I think that's very sound advice.
Refer to film. If you want to know how to truly emote yourself, refer to film. Do not go to like there's certain dialects and timings and all this other stuff when it comes to anime. There's going to be times where it sounds very off because you have to deliver a certain amount of lines within a certain amount of time because you're working with translated information over already pre-established animation. Just matching the flaps. So it's going to sound off sometimes with the speed, emotion, inflection, delivery, everything. So refer to film if you ever want to, know how to act, essentially.
Yeah, that sounds like advice I've heard before from other voice actors. Like, learn how to act first before you worry about voice acting.
Yes, exactly.
Use Majin Vegeta death speech for audition.
I will say though, yes, Dragon Ball is the only probably exception if you want to get into just anime dubbing.
Wow.
Yes.
Why Dragon Ball specifically?
What makes it the gold standard? You think?
I think overall emotion, like genuine emotion, when it comes to sadness or anger, like especially anger. Obviously, if you've seen Dragon Ball, there's a clip of everybody knows it's very popular. So there's Battle of the Gods, one of the movies, and Sean Schimmel is in the booth. And he has a line where he goes, "I will not let you destroy my world." And you see him, there's a behind the scenes where he's screaming in the booth. And a lot of, actors, voice actors, they'll emote with their hands to help convey emotion or an action that's going on. This motherfucker is acting like how we all did when we were 7 years old watching Dragon Ball, just powering up, screaming. And there's a nice little tidbit in there that people will think is bad, but it's not. It's very natural. His voice cracks when he's screaming. And that is
that shit's so real.
Very natural.
Yeah, it adds
like
to
very like very a visceral reaction, like when you're angry and screaming is for your voice to crack like that. And that's what makes it more grounded and real. That's what makes it such a standout performance, is if you can have those imperfections within that delivery. Like, it's all about acting. It's your confidence and how to really read the room and the scene. And if you can deliver that and bring some of that naturalness to it, like a voice crack or like some weird idiosyncrasy about it, like a sputter or like a certain inflection that nobody would think would be delivered in a certain way, but it makes those takes a lot more memorable.
Yeah, and authenticity as well, I think.
Yeah. Okay. So it makes it more real. And I think that's what's really good voice acting, is when you can sit back and just be like, oh wow, that felt like natural. There's a scene I refer to, I think, the most, that I think I would guide people to for acting. There's a scene in Good Will Hunting. Robin Williams is talking about his story with his wife. And when you watch that movie and the way that Robin Williams is telling the story, you feel like you're in the fucking room with Robin
Right
Williams
there, yeah.
laughing with
About
him.
his wife farting. She
About
can't
his
stop
wife
at
farting.
night.
Yeah.
I love
That is the most
love that shit, man.
natural acting you could ever get. It's real because you feel like you're there. You feel it. You really do.
Yeah, and the place it's coming from. Yeah,
The place
really
it's coming
relate.
from. Yeah. So watch film, watch dramas, whatever you want to get into. Just always refer to film with acting.
Fair enough.
Got it.
Yeah, totally.
Okay. My next edition I send you will either be something from Inland Empire or History of Trunks. Got it.
History of Trunks. That's a good one. Shout out to future Gohan. That's the realest motherfucker ever.
My favorite
There you go.
incarnation.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that's the real timeline too. That's like the natural
It's the
events.
original. We talked
of
about
everything.
this, I think, for 3
We did.
hours.
Yeah. We
think
did.
Nick mentioned
we were
this. Nick
we were in
mentioned
the
this.
we were in the hotel lobby. Everybody else is like
Yeah.
having a good old time. Me and Nick are just talking about
Yeah,
like
like,
our favorite
the-
Dragon Ball moments and just like who we like the most.
Yeah, the craziest thing is that, Goku's death is supposed to happen.
Yeah, it's supposed to happen. That's the natural order
Yeah.
of the Dragon Ball
Yeah,
universe.
man. Early Android Saga is incredible.
It's great.
It's so good.
Future
I still
Trunks
think
is one of
I
my
still think, and I told Nick this, it should have ended after Frieza, after Namek.
after
Yeah,
Namek.
I think the natural progression of the story that Dragon Ball Z had fits a lot better when you ended at Namek. Everything else with the androids, Cell, Boo, Majin, everybody else is just extra. It's
Yeah.
still canon, but I just consider that extra.
Cell is cool, but it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like the world is at stake as I did with Frieza, or if I did with Vegeta and Nappa coming to Earth. Like Frieza was like a destroyer,
And
a
then
destroyer.
Mech
ready-
Frieza being immediately trivialized
Immediately.
by
Yeah,
Trunks.
well, that's like
Yeah,
Trunks
within
is
3
so
seconds.
cool.
Yeah, Trunks is cool. Yeah, that jacket, gets all the ladies
Still
going.
trying.
Prop jackets.
Trying to convince my
Yeah.
wife to cosplay Frieza for the next convention. She's not going for it. She's not going for it.
Which form? Are you trying to get her to be like final form
Final
Frieza,
form
like
Frieza.
completely bald?
I'd have been Trunks. I've been carrying around like a grape drink or something,
No, have her be the Xenomorph one.
Mm,
the
yeah,
third
yeah.
Oh, with
stage.
blind alien head.
Yeah.
Big
Yeah.
head.
Like, babe, you understand? This is so sexy to me. This is so hot.
But yeah, Dragon Ball's amazing. I feel bad for anybody who doesn't want to sit down and watch just grown men scream at each other because that shit is peak. It's
true.
peak.
It is.
I can't deny it.
It's American.
It is. It really
It's
is.
global.
It's probably one of the most American animes you can watch, unironically.
Yeah.
It
It's
feels like home.
Wonderful.
It feels as home as burgers and fries. Burgers, fries, a Corona, and Dragon Ball. What more can you want?
Dragon Ball is simultaneously global, and it is your nationality. Whatever dub you grew up with is
Mhm.
ingrained in your culture. I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the biggest things in the world too. It's celebrated worldwide.
It is insane to think about how big Dragon
Yeah.
Ball is sometimes.
Yeah.
Just like how was in the Philippines, Yu Hakusho has its own dub, right?
Mm.
With Eugene Urameshi,
Eugene. Yes. What do they call it in the Philippines? It's
Ghost Fighter,
like Spirit
Ghost
Detective,
Puncher.
some shit like that. Yeah. Going back to Zach and all his current projects he's been working on.
Right,
Got any
right.
questions? Any more questions regarding MiSide or Indigo Park? I have a question if you're not ready to go, Nick.
Oh, now how do
but
I
you-
get in on this? Just throw me a roll, man. Come on, we're friends.
But Zach, you mentioned with MiSide, kind of part of its appeal is that it's Yandere Simulator and Doki Doki Literature kind of smashed together.
Yes. Yeah.
I was gonna ask, just like, what is the sauce regarding these projects? You think? What do you think that like kind of indelible quality it is that they have that draws people in, even though it is something relatively small and independent? Like what
Specifically
is
MiSide
it?
or
I guess with both, if you can narrow it down for both, I'd love it. But if you only got one for MiSide,
well,
then-
with Indigo Park, mascot horror has been blowing up. People have been wanting more, stuff outside of Five Nights at Freddy's. Right,
Mhm.
so we have Poppy Playtime, we have Garden of Banban, which is fucking horrible. You should never waste your money on that. I would
Part
sue
18.
the creator of that game. It is awful, and I want it to burn.
Okay.
And
Okay.
you have all these other independent projects coming out that people
Mhm.
have been craving for. The craze of analog horror as well
Yes.
coming out.
Nick's
Um,
put me onto this. Yes.
I
Yeah,
did.
analog horror on YouTube or within game form. I like horror's coming back, baby, and I'm so excited that it is.
I
So when you
love
have
that.
stuff like mascot horror, especially when it is like a desolate Disneyland, people can find some ground in that to be like, this is probably something that can happen. Because there is like abandoned theme parks, and there's videos of it online,
Yeah.
and that kind of encaptures that.
Okay.
And the whole mystery behind it, why the mascots are like this, what's the real story going on in Indigo Park. So I think people are drawn to that. Plus, the creator won't say it, but it's a big furry bait game. It really is. The designs,
Oh, you don't say.
The designs are very, very furry bait. As much as Mason does not like not safe for work of his characters. But unfortunately, I love you, Mason, but these characters are built for furries.
When
They're
you put it
built
out
for
to the
furries.
public, they're going to take it and run.
It's
Yeah,
true.
if it exists, there is porn of it. The natural rule 34.
Yes.
Oh yeah, I was in the city the other day. Turned out it was a furry convention. I did not know. It just happened to be going on.
I just stumbled in
and
my fursuit.
The amount of fully grown adult men, head to toe, in bluey gear, cosplay was staggering.
Really?
I hope
Really?
they were doing the act. I hope they were maintaining.
I thought Bluey was safe from that. Bluey's like the My Little Pony
It's pure
of
and
this
wholesome, I
generation.
thought.
Exactly, it's the My Little
Yeah.
Pony.
Like, I think it's a fine show, but I don't think it anywhere near holds a candle to My Little Pony in terms of that kind of status. Like Bluey's just a good show. Like my kids watch it. It's a good show.
I think it's
Listen,
like
man,
for kids.
It's completely anecdotal. I'm just telling you what I saw.
Like the mom's hot and everything, but that's like a different topic.
The rectangle.
Yeah, her little cylinder, fucking lube her up. She's ready to go.
I see.
But yeah, I think so. For Indigo Park, it's definitely a mixture of that. Indie horror, horror coming back. It's just right place, right time.
Yeah. The
With more of
cultural
this stuff coming out.
consciousness is in the right place.
Yeah, because people compare it to Poppy Playtime.
Mhm.
Because Poppy Playtime's getting a movie. And I was
bizarre.
I was just in a call with somebody who works on the art for Poppy's Playtime for Mob Entertainment. And, they had a lot of the designs that were in chapter 3. And, every chapter that comes out for Poppy's Playtime, it gets bigger and bigger and more ambitious. And so I really like Poppy Playtime for that. So it's kind of in the vein of Poppy Playtime where I think every chapter that's going to come out with Indigo Park is just going to get better and better and more ambitious as it goes along.
Okay.
And with MiSide, like I said, I think we haven't had anything to this status when it comes to that anime aesthetic, horror, mystery, very nitty gritty stuff like you can do in the game files and all this other additional stuff since Doki Doki, like
Mhm.
6 years ago. We haven't had anything like that. And because of the failures of Yandere Simulator, people like crazy bitches. People love,
Certainly.
anime style, whatever. And
It's true.
the variation of this game and the horror aspects of this game will really get you screaming. And that is a promotion. Like this game is scary. And there's
Okay.
varying different things that can happen. Like the art style of the game will change. The game type will change. Like it's like Nier Automata mixed with Yandere Simulator mixed with Doki Doki Literature Club.
Wow.
You get all that together, you get MiSide.
Yeah.
All
You
right,
get a
I'll
cute
play it.
Adding another ingredient into the mix.
And you get a cute anime girl that you can fawn over and have as a body pillow.
There you go.
Win, 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 win.
Win, win, win,
And,
win,
People
win.
love it.
And yeah, and I've been so grateful to be happened to be a part of these projects. Like I said, especially with MiSide, I made that opportunity for myself.
Yeah, no, very,
I
very-
created that situation for myself. Also, what I'm going to have made as well, because of the story that I told, there's a lot more to the story that I got the English of that I'm leading on to be, just because I think it would just take too long to go over. I'm having Nick Knows Jab do a mini documentary on how I got the dub. It's going to be titled My Side of MiSide, the English dub creation.
That's good.
So I'm excited
Good
for
title.
that.
Yeah, we love Jab over here.
Yeah, it'll push Jab's content out there because they had to make a new YouTube channel last year.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
we-
sucks. So yeah, me and them are working on different projects right now. We're working on doing like a short movie this year.
Very cool.
We have our own podcast, Dual Layer.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've just been a busy person this past week and a half, and probably for the rest of the year.
Probably the rest of
if-
2025, it looks like. Yeah.
Starting off 2025 with this bang, I think that's telling of what's about to come, because some of the people who have auditioned, they've reached out to me and be like, I'm going to MagFest as well. And these are people who work at Funimation, not just for Funimation, at Funimation. So,
Right.
I'm gonna be like, hey, if you need some VAs, I'd love to fucking be in a Funimation dub. Are you kidding? Yeah.
In a very,
So-
very enviable position.
Yeah, good omens.
Yeah.
for you, man. Very cool.
Good.
Yeah.
Great job, man. You made a steel ball run. Very proud of you.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think definitely this year is going to be my year. Unironically, I think it's going to be my year.
We're
Sounds
happy
like
to
it.
hear it. Yeah.
Things to look forward to. I mean, your own project mainly, I would imagine.
Yeah, it's essentially, it's like I'm a part of it now. Even we all know, I'm sure we all know BeatStar, who used to run and help the Video Game Awards.
Yes.
That account tweeted out, nomination for MiSide for best representation of women in video games. And so they added me and the publishing team for that nomination. I retweeted it, and
we love the
got
slash
some love from
VGAs.
Yeah, it got some love and likes from, like I said, some of those voice actor mutuals who are in that industry. So yeah, more eyes on the VGA.
There's more traction.
Very
cool.
nice.
Yeah. Right on. Well, kind of going back to video games, when you're not working, is there anything you're looking forward to playing this year? Whether it be big or small.
Stellar Blade on PC, because I've been holding out,
Right.
Not only from my balls, but from my hand as well to play that game.
Right.
Very excited. Like I said, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth on PC during MagFest.
Okay.
So I'm sad that it's coming out, and I gotta wait a little bit longer. But I haven't played any of that, so I've been waiting for the PC release. I'm catching up and playing Persona 5 Royal right now because I just started getting into Persona.
Okay,
I played Persona.
Right
I played Persona 3 Reload as my very first Persona. Fell in
Ooh,
love with it.
How'd you like it? Yeah, 3
I
is an amazing.
I wish I could erase my brain and play it all over
Oh.
again. Oh my god! And I still got to play the Igus DLC because they separated it from the newer release.
The answer,
I gotta, so I gotta play that, and then
Very
obviously
cool.
after I'm done with Persona 5 Royal, I'm gonna start Metaphor. So I'm very excited about that.
We'd
So
love to hear
I'm
it,
going
yeah.
I'm going into the Atlas rabbit hole of those
Jesus
types
Christ,
of games.
yeah, just like hundreds
all
of
in.
hours of RPGs right
Yeah,
now. You just
absolutely.
enjoy it. Very
Yeah,
cool.
they're cool games.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're cool. So that's pretty much what I've been playing outside of the occasional Pokemon TCG. Because I play
right
online
on.
mostly.
Mostly on PC, I'm gathering.
Yeah, mostly on
Doesn't sound
PC.
like, yeah.
Good.
Some good Roblox horror maps.
Yeah.
Game.
the occasional Squid Games. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been
Okay.
addicted to the Squid Games on Roblox.
Oh yeah, I
They're
caught
good.
a couple of those. I caught a couple of you screaming your goddamn head off because you got locked
Yeah.
out of the fucking ring-a-ling-a-ling.
Yeah, yeah.
Very good.
Those bastards. But yeah, and I've been trying to stream a lot more. I can really only stream at like nighttime because I got to watch my kids pretty much all day. So I stream mostly later in the night or super late at night. I have just these gremlin streams, and yeah, I just play like indie stuff now to kind of catch up on my backlog, and whatever I feel like is fun and entertaining, and I can just talk to chat the entire time and just be silly and goofy.
I love that. Love it. Very cool. Right. Any other questions regarding the future, Nick? Anything about the rest of 2025?
Upcoming conventions. I know you're going to MagFest. I imagine you're also going to be going to PAX. Are you going to be going in the future as a guest or representative of MiSide, or what's your idea?
I would hope so. That's kind of like my goal. So I would hope for maybe PAX. I don't know how it works with like with panels or anything. I don't know how you submit like to do a panel, but I would love to run a panel that's dedicated to the process or how to get into not only voice directing and running projects like that, but also voice acting as a whole. And that's been done to death, but I would still like to do it for myself. And I'm sure there's going to be something in the future for Indigo Park. Yeah. Absolutely. There's going to be something in the future for Indigo Park. I got MagFest. I have people want me to go to MomoCon. I've never been to MomoCon. That's in Atlanta. It's like a game anime convention. It's pretty big. But I'm not going to know anybody really that's going there, so I don't think I can warrant going to Atlanta for something that I'm not going to have anybody go to. It's going to be my first MagFest, so I'm super excited about that because everybody that I know is going to that compared to PAX last year. And then obviously I'd like to go to the Game Awards again. I'm going to buy a fucking seat this time because I'm not dealing with what I had to deal with last month.
Yeah.
But that was fun to be there in person. So yeah. Last year I was dealing with a lot. I had to move back to California. I had to kind of just get my bearings in life again and kind of do like a soft reboot on my life. And since the soft reboot, like I said, Indigo Park blew up. I've been able to make all these connections and friends and go to PAX and all this stuff. And this year, I'm hoping there's a project as well that's going to be independent that I'm really excited for. It's not public information to any regard. There's no trailer. There's no announcement. And you know what? I'm going to announce it right now. So we can fucking edit it out. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. Because it's in early stage. It's concept right now.
Okay.
It'll be hopefully pitched to Dread XP, who are the publishers of
Ooh.
Mortuary Assistant and all these other games.
They put some nice stuff.
So
Dread Delusion.
there's a game that is going to be made, Zwick, get ready, by a psychological psychological horror game. And the person who runs the company that would be making this game offered me to do voice work for the game.
Wow.
Okay.
That's incredible.
Very nice.
Another big name to get behind project wise. Like I got bangers after bangers.
The opportunities for you. I'd love to hear it.
So
very good, man. Congratulations.
So you better censor this or I'm going to fucking gut you.
I know, right?
Yeah, Zwick, just take out the first letter. They won't know. Just take out the first letter.
Very cool. Wow, man. That's awesome. Like genuinely so cool.
It is. Yeah.
Yeah. There is one that I really, really, really can't say. I don't care if it's censored, but I really can't say.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. We're not.
We'll talk after.
We'll talk after. But Nick said something earlier and he was right on the money with it. And it made me almost crash out.
Choked on you.
Okay.
Yeah. We got to scrub through the episode.
I think I know exactly what it is, but I'll be quiet.
As soon as Nick said it, I literally just gasped to myself. I was like, no fucking shot.
Wow.
So I'm excited. I'm excited for this year.
Very cool.
It's going to be a good year.
Keen listening viewers.
Yeah.
Oh, we're excited for you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Thank you.
Well, we have some community Q&A.
It's true.
If we're done talking about
if you don't mind taking, fielding questions from the commoners.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. First up from Dear Mutual Friend Beatstar.
Heyo.
Ooh, hello, Beat.
What is your current relationship looking like with the Among Us people? What arc are they on right now?
Oh, so that's like another thing that I didn't really talk about. So yeah, Among Us had announced, obviously they're working on a TV show.
Right.
And they already announced the cast and everything. You have Phil Lamar in there. You have a whole bunch of big names who are working on the Among Us TV show, voice acting wise. My stifle with them is that they never reached out to me for not even like a cameo. And I thought, something like Among Us, like my, not to toot my own pussy here, but I think my meme helped contribute to the broad ecosystem of Among Us as a whole online. Because I know for a fact the Among Us people know me, the devs know me, the community manager knows me, just what I've heard from the grapevine and from other people, even from the community manager herself, Victoria. But yeah, I think it's just another studio thing. I think they just wanted, and the studio who's running it probably doesn't know who I am or understand that.
They don't understand the value of the impact of meme culture.
But I'll tell you right now, if I watch season 1 of the Among Us show and there's even an illusion of an inside joke with my meme, I'm going to fucking crash out.
You heard it first. You heard it here first, folks. There you go.
But I have nothing against Among Us. I like Among Us. I've always liked Among Us. That video was just like, I wanted to make something funny and it was 3 a.m. I was working security like nights and I just made it in my fucking car screaming my head off. And that's about, that's it.
Funny.
And it blew up from there. And yeah, that's my relationship with Among Us. Like they've replied to my tweets a few times and, have liked my stuff and, so yeah, I don't have anything against Among Us or any of the team like at all. Like, it's all good. It's just, like I said, I'm a little bit bummed I didn't get offered to something in the show. Something.
All right. So for now, you're all right with them. If they do reference the video, it will be grounds for jihad.
On site, yeah.
There will be like a 17-part thread on Twitter complaining about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Okay.
Perfect.
Good.
Goon Lagoon asks, did you genuinely get a VAC ban for a CSGO skin?
A VAC ban for is that directed towards me?
Towards you.
I don't understand that question because is that like a reference to something?
I think so, but I think that he may be mentally deficient.
Our beloved Goon is difficult to understand sometimes.
Goon.
We try to get through to him.
VAC ban over a CSGO skin?
Yeah.
And any CSGO scandals in your career that you can understand?
Oh my God, I know what they're referencing. There's okay.
Wow. Here you go.
For my music stuff under the Big Gay name, I do like intros before the song happens. I go, "What's up, boys?" Or "What's up, guys? It's your boy Big Gay, aka this and that." One of them was aka one VAC ban on my account. That's what it's referring
That's
to.
what.
Oh,
Damn, that's a
Wow.
callback.
That's
a
a deep cut.
That's a fan.
There
They've
you
been
go.
following me for a while then. Holy
Wow.
shit. That's like a
Dude.
6-year-old reference.
He's like
by the way.
Nardwar over here. Incredible.
Yeah.
I love it.
Outing himself.
Kudos.
You're
to you. Kudos
ZaccActs.
to
We
you.
have to know.
Yeah, we have to know.
Is the back band still standing?
CSGO.
Wow.
We
Yeah,
gifted it to you.
Shout out to Goon for that question. That's incredible. Wow.
Very good. Give him the validation he craves.
Absolutely.
Very nice.
Very good. Kind of
Then,
going back to the Among Us meme we got from, this is from Hugh, right? Joker's tomfoolery. That's him.
Yeah, that's you.
He's asks, what was it like when the Among Us video blew up? Do you remember where you were aside from
Yeah.
screaming in the parking lot? Was that like
Yeah.
an immediate thing, or was it something over
It was getting some traction. It was very, very minimum. And then when I got home to rest at 8 a.m. in the morning, I woke up and comments after likes after repost, and then the memes started coming in. It started
Like
getting posted on
edits of
YouTube.
it?
Yeah, edits of
Yeah.
it, animations of it, the sped up version, the missing consonants,
times
the all,
speed. Yeah.
all this other variations that still get made to this day. The meme is going to be 4 years old next month.
2025. Wow.
Next month it's going to be 4 years
Yeah.
old, and there's still content surrounding that meme.
It's true. They're only getting more
Um,
advanced. I was thinking about making one just to promote this video or this episode.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you
Yeah.
should. You should.
As the
Um,
first video I ever made was one of those, an edit of you.
It's really.
Really?
Yeah. Stop
Yeah.
Was
talking
it?
about No More Heroes.
Yeah, stop talking about No More
Classic.
Heroes. Was-
Yeah, I saw that. Like, I didn't know that was your first video though that you
Yeah.
edited. That's funny.
Long time
That's a good
ago.
one to edit.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of the God damn, you've known me for a while then, Nick. Holy shit.
The mimetic legacy.
It was very odd.
Yeah.
Yeah, meeting you. I had to be like,
Yeah, it
I've
is
never I
odd.
don't know anything about this guy.
Even in LA, when we had left the hotel lobby, it was me and Jab, and before you and Beat came back to us at the little food truck, Jab's friends who I never met before, there was two of them, and one of them just turns to me and goes, "Are you the Stop Posting About Among Us guy?" Like, I knew I recognized you. I'm like, "Yeah, that's me. That's me."
Yeah, that's
And when I went to meet the Living Tombstone people knew me. So I went to their concert
Wow.
for free as a VIP because they let me in as a VIP for PAX. And I met them after the show for the very first time. And Yoav, the creator of Living Tombstone, he just looks to me and he goes, "Wait a minute, are you Among Us guy?" I go, "Yep, that's me." And I'm like giddy because I've been listening to Living Tombstone since I was in high school. Like, which is so weird to say because, like I said, I'm 30.
Yeah,
and I've
no,
listened
like
to them
15
since
years ago. Yeah,
I've
16
listened to
years
them.
ago,
I've
yeah.
listened to him since the My Little Pony remixes, like, because that's where he blew up.
Mhm.
So it was really a cool moment.
Yeah.
And
It's awesome.
they followed me back on Twitter, both Sam and Yoav. I'm like, oh my god, So I
We're
don't
oofies.
I had a little geek out over it, but
Oh,
yeah,
man. That's fun, man.
yeah.
Very
So
cool.
yeah, the traction of Among Us definitely continued, and it's been ridiculous. I think the
Wow.
funniest ones to me are still the Donkey Kong Country OST remixes. Those are definitely by Udge. Udge is the real goat for that.
Okay. Wow.
So yeah, it was amazing, and obviously I made a big Twitter post about it. I don't know if Nick or you, Sam,
I
saw
did
it, but
your TikTok eulogy, right?
yeah, pretty much like it was my manifesto essentially for TikTok.
Yeah.
Just really underlining, like, yeah, like, despite what people say about the culture on TikTok, like, it unironically changed my life. It really did, for the better, because I would not be here doing these projects or doing anything like fulfilling my dreams if it were not for TikTok. And I have nothing but love for TikTok. I always will.
So that's like when the internet is working in its most ideal way.
Yeah, and
Stories
it's
like yours, right?
and it's a
You'd
callback
love
to-
see it.
It's a callback to what I've always done online. I shit post.
Mhm.
I upload like
Yeah,
it
shit
goes-
posting is an art form. I fucking love shit
it goes
posting.
all the way back of me, 10 years ago in Metal Gear Threads making Vocaroos like for people. And now it's benefited me just to fucking get out there
Mhm.
and just do shit. Not having to worry like if people are gonna like it. It's like, I think this is funny, I think this is stupid, but I'm just gonna put it out there. And
Yeah.
if people like it, they like it. And it benefits me because I think I'm just so unapologetic about it.
Very cool.
You're right. I think that's exactly the way to do it. And I mean, your current success, I think, is a testament to that.
Mhm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely.
Like, I wouldn't be here talking to you two lads if it weren't for it. So
Yeah.
It's true.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, isn't it? This wild west of the internet that we all grew
I
up
love the
with.
internet.
That
I don't
we're still able to engage with right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good. All right. And
Right,
Hugh's
from-
last question was we kind of already answered through the interview, but
We
their
did.
advice was, what advice would you give to people who want to start voice acting? Any
Yes.
final tips
If-
in that regard? Or
If
Another
Zach
thing
is
as
the
well.
director, DBZ.
Another thing as well, people need to take classes. They need to take workshops, specifically from casting directors and voice directors, because they've worked with a myriad amount of actors in their lifetime. So getting that insight with casting directors, because some of these workshops, at the very end of it, they can also help you with a voice demo and make a voice demo sometimes within that workshop. So definitely look into workshops, take classes. Some of them cost money. Some of them are free. Just look around Twitter. They're always being promoted. Just look out for those. Keep honing your skills. And unironically, like, even if it's bad, make stuff. Just make content. Make funny dubs. Make memes. Make shit posts. Like, just seriously, make that stuff and put it out there, because you never know what's going to catch traction. You never know.
Yeah, right on. Creating is always good.
Always good.
Always good. All right, take it away, Nick. Next question.
Yes, from Ants.
From Antoids. Yeah.
He wants to know, and based on the start, I don't know about this one, but have you completed all your tasks around the house?
Yeah, we're not pissing in water bottles anymore, are we?
All my tasks around the house? No, definitely not. I still have a load of laundry that's been in the washer for 4 days that I gotta attend to.
You got a big fucking thing of mildew is what you got.
Yeah. So I gotta rewash that bitch. But yeah, other than that, everything's handled. I mean, I got my ducks in a row today for just my work. That's really it.
Okay. And last question from Ants. If you took all the poop you ever pooped and built a 6-foot wall out of it, how long would that wall be?
How long would the wall be? It would probably be the new border around Mexico, easily. I have clinical IBS, so I poop on average probably 3 or 4 times a day.
Jake, you're missing out, bud.
I know.
Yeah, you guys really would have connected over this.
over shit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Crohn's and IBS. It would have been like two titans clashing.
Oh no, I would not want Crohn's. Crohn's sucks.
Yeah, he's
Crohn's
mentioned
sucks. Damn.
You guys be like veterans from the war talking about your different branches of
Oh,
service.
absolutely. I mean, that's like the biggest reason I got a bidet, obviously, to, outside of having a clean asshole, because IBS is so horrible that when you get to a point when you're just wiping, you start developing hemorrhoids and you start bleeding. So like for my self-health, not only to be more clean, but my health, I need a bidet. Man. So when I go to these conventions, like I have to have some kind of like dude wipes or something in order to be like really clean.
There you go. There's a Shark Tank idea for any potential investors.
Yeah, Shark Tank idea.
Portable bidet.
Yeah,
exactly.
Honestly, when I hear that people still just wipe with just toilet paper, like I get a little disgusted, because I'm like, you have a dirty asshole. Because I think of it this way, okay? Imagine you have shit smeared on your face. Would you only just wipe it away with toilet paper? No.
You gotta get some.
You're gonna get some water or some soap and really clean it, or else you're just gonna have a smelly little facey asshole.
Yeah, the example I've heard before is like you wouldn't just wipe shit off your driveway. You're gonna power wash it off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You'd really make sure it's clean. So yeah.
Save a fortune on toilet paper too.
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely. I only need one wipe to have it all dry, and you're good to go. That's it. And there's some of them, like God bless the Japanese, like maybe 2 nukes were enough, because those bidets are insane. Like you have like the hair dryer just like shooting into your asshole.
Going to Japan and coming back is disgusting.
Because I think at this point,
even
public bathrooms in like really shitty areas, they'll have bidets.
Yeah,
they're just readily everywhere. They're just readily available. They care about
their society. Yeah,
and they're very clean. They're very clean.
It's very distressing. I was completely expecting, to see hands coming out of the toilet reaching for paper and shit. Never happened. All mechanical.
Some guy just like coming to really like tongue fuck your asshole to get it clean. He's like, I live for this. This is my job. Only getting paid in like fortune cookies and like chopsticks. Yeah. But
well, you do what you love. You never work a day in your life.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Perfect.
Good old bit. Shout out bidets.
Yeah. And thank you, Ants, for that question. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for the questions, everybody.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Zach, for being here tonight.
Absolutely.
Thank you, guys.
We're reaching the end of today's episode, but it has been a pleasure having you.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure being on here and just kind of fucking around.
We love to do it. We'd love to have you back on in the future when you're not so
I love
busy.
to. Anytime you guys
sure.
want me on, I'll try to make free time for you guys.
And for people that want to find more of your work, your projects, your podcast, where can people find that?
It's going to be everywhere. It's ZaccActs, ZaccActs.
Very good.
Very streamlined.
Very good. And will it be your podcast, you're streaming, and then you're working. Obviously.
The podcast is called Dual Layer. That's the only exception. But yeah, stream, Twitter, acting, anything credential wise, like it's all going to be ZaccActs.
And as always, we'll leave all our socials in the links below.
You guys know what it is.
Yeah, if you're here, you know what it is. We've been Video Ditch. Zach, thank you so much again, one last time. Wishing you the best of luck for the rest of 2025. Hopefully,
absolutely. Same to you guys. You guys kill it too.
Oh, we appreciate that. Well, until next time, thank you for listening. We've been Video Ditch. Keep on gaming in the free world.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
I love you. Say it back now.